Hello everybody, it's Greg Kostroff, the Bearded Realtor, and I'm here with a special guest today, our number 5 podcast. But before we introduce you to our guest, I just want to let you know that we are looking for people to subscribe to our YouTube. We want to grow our YouTube presence, so if you haven't yet, would you please hit that subscribe button? We would like to get approximately 100 by the end of August, and we're already in the 70s, 73 subscribers. So please help us. And with that, I want to introduce you to Amy Siliznoff. Amy is somebody that I've known now for 12 years. I've seen her I met her right before she got married, got to see her get married, have children, and now she's established a great business, and we want to talk about that. But why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to our audience, whatever you want to tell them about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm Amy Siliznoff. I own a business called Latte Glow. We create custom crafted latte mixes with superfoods, adaptogens, and functional mushrooms. I started the business last October, and I've been making the elixirs for over a year for my husband and myself, and he's the one who encouraged me to start the business. And that's where I am today.
Well, that is great. So that goes to my first question. What inspired you to start Latte Glow, and how did that brand come to life?
Yeah, so it was our own personal wellness journey. Mm-hmm. So as you know, my husband went through some health issues over the past year, and I was just looking for ways to boost our health, and I started doing studying, and I found the power of using superfoods, adaptogens, and functional mushrooms into daily living, and all the benefits that they could have to the body. And so I started making these at home. I started combining different herbs and then the functional mushrooms into drinks. Mm-hmm. And that's how Latte Glow was born. And the way we put a name to it, honestly, my husband and I were like, what do we call this? And so we started just brainstorming, and there was a website that we used, design.com, and they come up with recommendations for like what you have, and Latte Glow was a list on there, and we love that name, and so that's how it was born.
Oh, good. Well, I'd like to, if you're okay, with kind of talking about that process of, okay, so it sounds like, because I know your family, and so it sounds like this brand and this product that you came to was because of, you said, health issues.
Yes.
With your husband. What was that like to get that call that there was a health issue? What did that do for you and your family?
Yeah, it was really hard because we had a 6-month-old at the time. And
was this your first child or no?
Oh no, it was our third child.
Okay.
So we had, I'm trying to think how old my eldest was at the time. So this was almost 2 years ago now. So he was 5. So we had a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, and then a 6-month-old at the time. And I encouraged my husband to go see a doctor, and he had just like a small lump on his leg, and the doctor didn't think it was anything, but ordered an MRI. Insurance didn't want to cover it for about 6 months. And then I ended up calling them and saying, hey, like this runs in his family. He had an uncle who had a brain tumor. And so I just said, please, we would really appreciate if we could just have the scan. And they said, okay, like this is what you need to do. So he did it, and they covered it. And then he got the phone call from his doctor, like, you need to come in. And he was like, well, why can't I just get the results, over the phone? And they're like, well, no, we want to see you in person. And so that was a concern. And then that day of his appointment, he got a referral notification on his phone that he was being sent to Stanford Oncology.
Before he
even got to his appointment. So his heart just dropped. So we kind of knew like it was going to be bad news. And I wasn't able to be there because I had my son Jacob. So I just kind of listened in on the phone, and they just said, okay, like we think it's myxoid. It's called myxoid liposarcoma. We're going to send you or they didn't say that yet. It was just that we think that this is a sarcoma. They didn't know what type, but you need to go to Stanford for further testing.
Wow.
And so that was.
And how old were you and your husband at the time?
So I was 29 and he was 36.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you have 3 young children already?
Yes.
Wow. That I can't imagine what that thought was of the unknown, right?
Yeah, it was very scary.
Yeah. And so that was about 2 years ago, and then you started. And I'm assuming that's the point where you started looking into eating healthier, not that you weren't, but the healthy.
Yeah.
And so what was the time frame from you got the news, and then where this product was introduced.
So it was when we were living in Stanford. So we lived there for 5 weeks. He had to undergo radiation treatment daily, and so I would take him to his appointments every day. And that's when I started researching, and I found golden milk, and it's a turmeric-based drink, and turmeric's really great for inflammation. He was undergoing radiation at the time. So it's like, okay, why don't we start drinking this and just seeing, if it helps or it helps you feel better because you're going through radiation. And so we were at the time just buying it from Whole Foods, but we didn't care for the taste of it, and it left a lot of powder at the bottom. And so that's when I started crafting it myself and making it myself.
So how does somebody go about to start crafting? Crafting it yourself. I'm assuming at that point you didn't have a degree in this of anything, no education. You just started on your own. So tell us, what was that process like to just start a business?
Yeah, so
I know you weren't starting a business at the time.
But just making it for us.
Yes.
Yeah, so it took a lot of recipe tasting. So I went online and I was like, okay, let me look up different recipes. A lot of them I didn't like, so I was kind of adding more. Okay, I wanted more cinnamon flavor, or I wanted more ginger, or it had too much ginger, so I had to really play with it. And then I had to research a lot of different herb companies because I wanted really good quality. And so I was set on a company based in Oregon that uses certified regenerative organic, which means no pesticides are used. They really care about soil health, which means there's better nutrients to the plants. So I really cared about that. And so I started ordering from them, and then was like, well, why don't I looked at the benefits of functional mushrooms, and I'm like, there's really nothing like that on the market. So I started adding that to the drinks.
Wow.
Crafting with
And
those.
how long before you started feeling or seeing the results from your product?
Honestly, when we started adding, so ashwagandha is one of the ingredients in my golden elixir, we noticed it right away.
Really?
So ashwagandha is great for stress, relaxation. We were sleeping better at night. We felt better throughout the day. So
it was immediate, that day, or
you could feel the benefits of the sleep right away.
Wow.
Especially with reishi mushroom that helps the body with stress, relaxation, and sleep as well.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And so when you started using it for yourself, how long then did you decide, okay, what made you even think that you could sell it and create it? What was the motivation for that?
Yeah, so I was making it for us for about 6 months, and my husband was like, this is really good and we're feeling the benefits. Why don't you start selling this? And so there was actually a church vendor fair coming up, and I was like, you know what, let's just start it and I'll sell it there and see how it goes. And it was a huge success.
Really?
Yes.
Well, how much did you sell that day? I mean,
what did you? Over $1,000 worth of product.
Oh, so you had that much product already made?
Yes.
Okay, so tell us, how do you make not how do you make the product, but how do you go through the process of, okay, because I'm sure there's food rules and laws about.
There was some hurdles there.
Okay.
So our insurance agent for our home, actually, he owns a business. And so I was like, I'm going to talk to him and see what he recommends as far as business insurance, what route to go through for that.
Yeah.
Because I had started the business, and that's one thing you have to have. So I called him, and he was like, okay, I'll go ahead and see if we can offer that. And so one thing that came up was homeowners insurance. They don't like you operating out of your home. So I was going to do it out of my house, and there's a certain license you can get to make it from your home, but you're limited. You can't sell out of California, and you have to write it on your product that it's made out of a home. And so they said, we can't insure you if you're going to continue to operate out of your house. So that's what led me to use, go to the next step and use a culinary kitchen to make my product. But honestly, it was a blessing in disguise because it opened up so many doors and so many opportunities. So it was meant.
How did you find that kitchen to go work at? Did you just start researching?
Yeah, so I started researching, and then I called the local Fresno County Environmental Department, because that's who I was working through to get my licensing, and they recommended using Clovis Culinary. So I called them. And Chris Marshall's the manager. She's amazing. She's like, oh yeah, come, we'll meet. You can check out the kitchen, see if you like it. And so I met with her, and then that's how I started using the kitchen.
Okay, so you came up with the product. You decided, hey, this is really working. Let's see if we could sell it. You did a little vendor fair at a church function. That got a lot of results. And now tell me, what are you feeling at that point?
Yeah, I was really excited. I was nervous at the same time because it was something so new, and I knew it was going to be a big heat to get my product out there. I needed to start doing Instagram, posting on Instagram. That was completely new for me for a business, and it was like definitely a big hurdle in learning how to advertise and get the word out there about my product and get customers to believe in my product too.
Yeah. So I was going to follow up with the word obstacles. What obstacles were you, if any, did you hit at that time? Whether it's licensing, insurance, I heard some of them, but what other kind of obstacles maybe came in your way, and how did you overcome them? What was your what was your, I don't know if the word thrive, or what was your, to keep you pushing on?
Keep going, the motivation.
There you go.
So I definitely, showing up locally was a huge, getting that community support was a huge, that's what helped me keep going. Okay. So going to the Tesoro Viejo Farmers Market, I did Big Hat Day, I do a lot of different elixir tastings locally, and then the biggest excitement that I had was when the Patio Cafe reached out to me through Instagram and they wanted to start carrying my product. So that was huge. They reached out to me and I didn't even have to reach out to them. So that was a huge, blessing.
Well, that is really interesting you say that, because, I know you have a faith in God, a deep faith in God. And it's interesting how it sounds like from the beginning, I could see God present in there. But interesting enough, where you live in the Patio Cafe, that is like walking distance to your home.
It's right down the street, and I love going there. So I was like, of course I would love to sell to you. And so that was amazing.
Wow. Okay, very good. So what other obstacles, if any, did you get? And the obstacles I want to address is, how supportive was your husband? How supportive was your family? Did you get people saying, what are you doing? You can't do this. Did you get any of that?
I feel like I had amazing support from my husband. He was the one rooting me from the beginning. And then my family, same thing. My mom and my mother-in-law were there to support. They helped me with the kids because, I have 3 young kids. And, if I have to go to events, and Johnny would come with me, my husband Johnny would come at the beginning. And then now he kind of helps with the kids. But having that family support was huge. I feel like I never got any pushback from any friends. So I did get a lot of community support.
So you were getting the support.
Yes.
Okay, so as far as your business, there's a couple questions I have here. So let's start with, you are a young mother, you have 3 young children. I know you're involved with your community, your children go to a private school. How do you keep it together? How do you run a business? And I'd like to know how successful, where you're at in that business, to kind of give us an idea. How do you jumble all that in your life, in your career?
Yeah, so it's a work-life balance. I definitely have to set that time aside. My faith is first, my family is second, and then work life is third. So I always prioritize that time and making sure I set aside time. And then, making sure that I'm making time for my business as well. So it is a lot of juggling. Yeah. And my kids also get involved with the business, which is really exciting. My son will help me drop off packages. I'll walk him into UPS and he'll give it to the UPS person. And so getting him to kind of get out of his shell with getting used to that. And then they helped me at a farmer's market as well. Yeah. And they loved it. So just getting them involved, and they're learning the business side of things too.
How many hours in the business do you put in, you think, a week?
Probably 30 to 50. It depends if I have events.
Wow. So are you your only employee at this point? So you're still creating the product, you're packaging?
I'm doing everything.
You're doing it all.
So I do marketing, I do the packaging, the ordering, the fulfilling, I do everything myself.
That's why 30 to 50 hours, right?
Yes.
So you're from day one, and now you have sales. You said you sold some at a church vendor fair, made about $1,000. Where are you today with your business? I know you're still at the beginning stages, right?
Oh yeah, no, I've done. So I just had a meeting with the kitchen manager, and she's like, "You're doing an amazing job for your first year." She's like, "There's not a lot of business."
Okay, I didn't realize this is your first year in business. You haven't even done a year.
No.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so that's been really exciting. I'm in 6 retailers, so that's been huge, and that's kind of keeping me going, keeping me motivated. And I just
Are they local retailers?
Yes.
Okay.
They're all local. And then there's one in Exeter that just started carrying our product, and they're opening this Wednesday. I'm doing an event there with them. So it's called the Exeter 1892 Marketplace. It's like a vintage type shop, and she has like a little bit of everything in there.
Yeah.
And
Exeter is a cute little town, in fact.
It is.
I've been through there once or twice now.
Yeah, and then Basilwood in Prather carries our product, and they're a cute farm type store, but they carry everything there: jewelry, soaps, skincare, all of that, and they make it all themselves.
Okay.
And then Clash Coffee Boba's carrying our product. They make the golden elixir on their menu.
Yeah.
And then the Patio Cafe, they make the matcha and chai on their menu, and they sell the elixirs at their store.
Yeah.
And then we just submitted to Sprouts, so I'm hoping to see if, and that will open a lot of doors too, as far as growing, if I need to start using a manufacturer to produce the product, and then hiring more staff.
So where do you see yourself in a year? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? What would you like to accomplish with this business? And what is your goal? I'm sure there's a couple goals: keeping people healthy, making money, of course. So tie all that together. Where do you see yourself, and what do you want to accomplish?
Yeah, I'd love to see more people going, me helping them through their wellness journeys. And I love hearing all of the customer feedback, and that's kind of what keeps me going, that they're feeling the benefits, they're loving it. And then also being in stores nationwide, that would be, that'd be a really big success. That's one of my goals, to continue to grow that path.
Have you thought of going on the Shark Tank?
Oh goodness, I have not, honestly, and I'm hoping maybe like that might be a door though to open if they have connections, with manufacturing and
down the line.
Yeah.
So when will your year be up? I mean, are you close?
October.
Okay, I didn't know it was that new, and you're doing so good. So in this period of time, what kind of results have some of your clients getting? What are you hearing back from your clients on the product?
So they say for sure the sleep management, it's really helping with sleep, stress. So the ashwagandha, reishi mushroom, and then our chai, like people notice a really big brain boost. So focus, they're noticing that they can get through the day. A lot of customers are switching off of coffee and using our matcha. Our matcha is pretty tasty. I tell people, if you don't like matcha, try it. Typically matcha has a grassy taste, but I add turmeric, ginger, cinnamon, cardamom, a little bit of black pepper, and then I do 5 different functional mushrooms. I do cordyceps, chaga, lion's mane, reishi, and turkey tail mushroom.
Where are you getting this product? Is it from overseas? Is it here?
No, so it's here in the United States. It's a company based in Oregon, and all of their ingredients are certified regenerative organic.
So the mushrooms are grown in Oregon?
Yes, everything's, in Oregon based.
Wow. And so what age group do you see that you can tell are using your product?
Right now, I feel like there's all ages. So I get a lot of like young people using our product, and customers that are older too that use our product, and they're all benefiting from using them.
Yeah. So your husband went through some treatments, and did that product that has it boost his energy, what has it done for him, your husband?
Yeah.
Somebody who has had cancer, so I
Yes.
could say that because you said it. What benefits did he receive going through all the treatments and everything?
Well, I'd like to know, he's cancer free now. He actually just had his scan yesterday.
Oh.
So he gets scanned every 3 months. He's still cancer free, so we're really, really happy about that.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you, God.
But I, would hope that it helped with any inflammation that the radiation caused. But I do know that it has helped him with stress. So his job's 24/7, and it's high stress, and so I do know he does feel like really relaxed and more mellow with using the product. So I know it's helped him with that.
Yeah.
But I hope that it would continue to help him.
I'm gonna say this. I hope I don't get in trouble. But have you given any of this to your father-in-law?
You know what? I wish he
The
could
poor
take
man
it.
is,
I know. No,
his-
so I do know
His job in the church is very big, and so he could
Yes.
probably use it.
Oh no, I know. And part of using our product, we recommend that you talk to your healthcare provider. Obviously, if you're on high blood pressure medication, there's certain things you have to avoid. So he unfortunately can't use the product because some of the ingredients in there.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. So let's talk a little bit, you being a woman, and have you seen any obstacles as a woman starting a business? Has anybody What's that been like?
Yeah, so I don't think for me, like, there has been obstacles, thankfully. I feel like a lot of opportunities have been opened. You know, there might be like perception like, oh, you're a business, you know, women business owner, but honestly, I feel like the community supports women business owners. There's been a lot of support like from my husband and from other businesses.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't feel like I have faced any challenges, thankfully, yet.
Yeah.
So that's been a really big blessing.
Oh, well, good. What is some of the victories that you've got to see as a woman in this business where you're at in just less than a year? Share some of your victories on this.
Yeah, so being featured on ABC 30, that was a huge,
I saw you.
huge success. Yeah, and that was a lot of fun. And then I was on the Great Day Show twice, and that was Fox 26. So that was really exciting.
So those are the two channels that you have been on. Have you been on any? And now you're going to be on a podcast, which we're going to share this with. You know, because I want to put it in a couple times. How would they get a hold of you if they want to learn more about your product? Do you have a website? Give our audience some information how to find you.
Yeah, so you can find me at latteglow.com, and I have all of the information on each elixir listed there. You can find me on social media, which is where I post a lot of the benefits, different recipe ideas, and that's Latte Glow _. And so you can find me on there, give me a follow, and you can order through my website, and you could also find me locally at the businesses that I share on my Instagram and that I shared here today.
Good. And with the success you've had so far, somebody who's contemplating any kind of business, even as a woman, what would have you learned that maybe you would do different, or you would do even more? What can you share about that?
Yeah, no, I think
successful.
I think if you're thinking about starting a business, just start. You have to start somewhere, even though it may seem overwhelming, or like you can't do it, or like, oh, like people are gonna say, you know, oh, I don't believe in, or you know, you might feel those doubts, but I just start the business and you learn as you go. So if you hit a road bump or a wall, you navigate and you keep pushing and you keep going. And so that's what I've learned starting, is that like, okay, marketing, like I don't have, you know, any experience with social media marketing, but I've learned along the way.
Yeah.
And then I've learned resources to help me navigate that. And then, you know, I don't like to post often, like that's just me in general, but you know, I've had to break through that. Yeah. And I post almost every day, but it shows that I'm there, I'm visible, and my customers see me. I use my product, and you know, I share my experiences and where I am locally, and I think that gives you a presence. So you do kind of have to break through that discomfort to grow.
And you talked about the research. I don't even know where I would start to research anything.
Yeah.
When it comes to starting a business, but you just had to filter through. You went online.
Yes.
Started Googling, I'm assuming.
Yeah. So I Googled, and then I used LegalZoom to help create the business, and that was a huge resource that helped me. And I figured, you know what, I'd rather use a trusted source to make sure everything's right and correct and set up correctly. And then I also spoke with my CPA about the type of business that would be great, and so he recommended S Corp. So that's the route that I took for my business.
Yeah, so I do an S Corp too in real estate, so it's very helpful in everything.
Yeah.
What else would you like to talk about your product? Like, how many different products do you have? My fault, I didn't tell you to bring your product, but how many different types of product do you have, and what are the what sizes do they come in? And
so I have 3 different elixirs, which is the latte mixes.
Okay.
I do a matcha elixir, a chai elixir, and then a golden elixir. So the matcha is a green tea base, it's high in antioxidants, and I do a spice blend in it, so it really helps enhance the flavor. And then I do a 5 functional mushroom blend. And then the chai is a cinnamon base, so if you're a fan of chai tea lattes from Starbucks or any other coffee places, it tastes very similar to that, but there's no refined sugar in any of our blends. We use a little bit of monk fruit extract, and then we recommend adding honey to sweeten when you make it. So you're only getting about 5 or 6 grams of sugar compared to 42 grams of sugar in your typical chai tea latte at at a coffee shop.
And it's a powder, I'm assuming, right?
Yes.
You put it in water.
So it's milk based. I recommend milk based for the Elixirs, but I did just release an adaptogenic tea line. So it's a loose leaf tea that's blended with chaga mushroom.
And how often can somebody drink it? Daily?
Daily.
Can they drink it more than once a day?
I recommend, so for the matcha, the chai, and the golden, I recommend once a day.
And
and that's plenty.
And how much would that?
You get 40 servings a jar.
And 40 servings a jar, but how much do you use in each?
1 teaspoon.
1 teaspoon.
Yes.
And how much water?
So 1 cup. So you'll use 1 cup of water, or I prefer milk base. At home I use almond milk. You could use.
I said water. I'm sorry. You said milk base.
It's okay. I know some people use hot water, but then I recommend adding a little splash of cream. It just helps it taste really good.
Can you mix those with, say, people who can't have milk for whatever reason?
Mm-hmm.
Can they use almond milk and any type of milk? It would work.
Yes, any type of milk. It tastes really
What
good.
what are people saying is what is your best seller?
The golden, by far. I always sell out of that one first, like really quickly. And then now the matcha is really taking over too.
Yeah.
That one's like selling really quick.
So I'm hearing 3 products.
Mm-hmm. So far the 3, and then the tea line is 5 different teas. So that's completely new. I have a detox tea, and I have a elderberry tea, which is for immunity, and then I have a chai. So for people who don't like milk base, for the chai elixir, I have a tea version. And then I also have, the golden version. It's called Luminous Root, so it's a turmeric and ginger tea. And then I have a sleepy time tea, and that one's really good. It's valerian root and lavender base, and so that one will knock you out. Yeah. That one's really good.
I'm just amazed that not that you had to, created these all different things. Wow, that is amazing. That tells me you're a very strong woman.
I love to create, and I love to cook and just do things at home too, create things myself. So this has been really exciting for me to have my own drink mix, and I love it, and I'm happy that I can help others with their health.
So what does Amy do to get away from everything? What do you do for yourself to relax? Do you travel? Do you just go off? I mean, what do you do?
So I love health and wellness, and going to the gym is my escape.
That's the word I should have looked for. What do you do to escape it all?
Yeah, and so that helps with my stress. I just feel more resilient. I feel just more high energy when I go to the gym, even though I do wake up at 4 a.m. every day to go to the gym.
Oh,
I work out at 5. That's the only time I could go.
Wow.
But I just feel so much better, and I just feel like it's my time for me, and so that's my me time.
And what time of does your day end when you're saying it's time to go to bed?
Yeah, so 9:30, 10 o'clock, because I do work off hours too. I'll try to get my work done in the morning and in the evening, so it just kind of depends on the day, but usually 10 o'clock.
With your family and your children.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow, and I've seen your kids go play sports, extra activities, and all that, so you do need time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's important to take that time, and working out's the best way for me.
Okay, very good. And so, a couple just more questions wrapping up. Again, where do you see yourselves with your product? Do you want to grow it even more? Are you going to limit so many products? How do you determine what you can and what can't you do as a business owner?
Yeah, so right now I'm at that point where I'm taking that leap, that hurdle. So if I get into retail, depends how many stores, and I'm gonna have to look into probably more regulations, more regulatory things from the state, and figuring out if I need to use a manufacturing facility to start making my product. So I'm gonna have to look into pricing and budgeting for that. And then inventory, making sure that where I get my supplies can cover that amount of supply if I do go into retail stores and branch out.
And right now with your supply and demand, you're handling it on your own?
Yes.
Are you thinking as a business owner you're going to have to add people to your team in order to grow?
Yeah, and right now I only attend one farmer's market a month.
Okay.
I
where is that at?
To Sarviejo Farmer's Market. I go the last Thursday of every month.
So just one day a month you go there?
Just one day a month I go there. But September alone, I have a lot of events coming up. There's the Central Valley Women's Conference that I'll be attending. That's on a Tuesday, I think September 16th.
Will you be having a booth?
I'm having a booth there.
Wow.
And then September,
What is
that
that?
weekend.
Do you mind me asking, what does that investment look like? How much is it going to cost you to be there? Because I think that's a pretty big conference.
Thankfully, the kitchen that I go through is allowed a table there, so that helps. So I don't even have to pay.
Oh my goodness.
So that's
Another
a huge blessing.
Yeah.
But look, typically, like Big Hat Day, I think was around $475 to be there, and then I'm doing Clovis Fest in September, and that's around like I think $300. It's a little bit less.
Okay.
But yeah, there's some high costs depending on which event you go to.
Yeah.
I'm doing an event as well in Santa Barbara in September, trying a different market. And then in December, I'm doing one in San Luis Obispo at the Madonna Inn.
Yeah. Wow. So you're starting to branch out of the Fresno area to grow. Well, that's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Well, I really enjoyed getting to know you on this different level here. Not just family, and you were real estate clients of mine, and I really appreciate that. But anything that you want to encourage those that may say, encourage those that maybe they're struggling with their health, they're struggling with, not sleeping, or the stress is getting to them. What would you want to encourage?
Yeah, like it's never too late, like to invest in your health. And I think that's like the number one thing you can do. If you can try to move every day, like go out for a walk, get sunshine, start there and then build your way up. Eat really good food, that'll make you feel better. And then try to just invest in you and your health, and you'll start to see changes, and just keep going. Like my husband had his health issues, and we were always healthy people, so that was a really big shock to us. So I think no matter what, like there's some things you just can't control. And so I think it's important to just keep going and, try to make the best choices that you can in your health, and hope, that it'll help change your outcomes and help you keep going forward.
So I always look at it as three entities of keeping ourselves healthy. You have to have a spiritual life. You have to have physical, and then there's the emotional part. So if you could kind of break down, you did a little bit, if somebody's struggling and they just want to get healthier, they want to feel better, what can you do emotionally for somebody who is maybe struggling? What can they do for themselves? What do you do for yourself emotionally? Because I'm sure during that time of your husband's illness, I'm sure that was a roller coaster, up and down. And so what do you do emotionally?
Yeah. So
spiritually, we know we have to rely on God, right?
Yes. To get through anything.
Prayer and prayer and
fasting.
All that. So what about the emotional part?
Yeah, so I mean that was like an extremely difficult time, to go through that. I think emotionally for me, like I had to be strong for my kids. So like I just kept going through it. And I think, having the fitness. So when we were in Stanford, I would work out at, there was like it's called Soul Cycle. I went there. I took the kids for walks, and like that to me like helped me, I guess, with those emotions that I was going through. And like me, I had to be there emotionally for my husband. I mean, he was going through like one of the hardest times of his life. So I think just being that person for him and being there to like talk to, and like, like I'm here for you. I'm going to take you to your appointments, and like we'll get through this together.
Yeah.
We had our kids, so we had to stay strong for them. So that was really important. But yeah, like, and I think maybe that's why this business started too, is like as a blessing from God too.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because I really think that those three go together, the spiritual, emotional, and the physical. You spoke about all that today, and it seems like sometimes when one is off, they can all be off. Or sometimes we have to look in the mirror and say, man, I'm off a little bit today. What is it? Well, maybe it's the spiritual part of your life, or the emotional, or the physical.
Yeah.
So to be in check and always check on those, I think is very important.
Yeah, that's why I think constant prayer and meditation is important too. Like, praying to God throughout the day. Like if you feel off, and relying on Him to get through the day, or like how can I, because that's one thing. Like, okay, I don't want to get distracted so much from all of these things going on in my life. Like, how do I, set myself back and put Him first? Because He's the priority. He's who I'm here for. He's who I'm trying to, that's who I'm living for every day. So I think it's important, and I try to bring myself back, like how am I going to serve you today? Like what is my will for you today? So that's how I kind of set myself back.
One of those ways is you're serving is trying to get other people to be healthy and health-minded, and I think that's so important. It really is. So again, tell us, how can we get a hold of you? I don't know if you mentioned your cell number, if that, or you give out a number, or is it just strictly online? How can we get a hold of you?
Yeah, so it's my website, www.latteglow.com. You can reach out to me on there. It's info@latteglow.com. That's my email. And then my phone number is on there too, but it's 626-483-1345 to reach me. And then my Instagram is latteglow_.
Okay, so we can find you on Instagram. You have a website, and your information, how to get a hold of you, is all on there.
Yes.
Okay, very, very good. Well, Amy, thank you so much
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, this is really good. And I guess we'll just wrap it up. Again, this is Greg, the Bearded Realtor. Please subscribe and stay healthy. Check in on your emotional, your spiritual, and your physical well-being. And if any of us can help you with any of that, just reach out to us. Have a great day.